Prime Minister calls on UK government head to start dialogue on reparative justice. We'll have details to this story and more in the National Report.
Grenada. The time for the national census is here again. Interviewers will be visiting your homes to gather information about you and your family. The data you provide determines budget allocation for health, grant funding for community projects, and government assistance for families and the elderly. The census is required by law, and so is your participation. We assure you that your information will be kept confidential. Do your part. Stand up and be counted, because we all count in this census. For more information about the census and your participation, contact the Grenada Central Statistical Office at 440-1369 or cso@cso.gov.gd.
With the details to the news for Monday, February 27th, I am Rikisha St. Louis. Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell is calling on the head of the United Kingdom government to commence open dialogue on the importance of reparative justice for CARICOM citizens. In his remarks at Monday's Reparations Forum at the Grenada Trade Center Annex, Prime Minister Mitchell said the conversation must start from the head and be passed on to those who are affected. Reparation is compensation given for an abuse or injury. The forum was held to give the Trevelyan family of the United Kingdom the opportunity to publicly apologize to Grenadians and to make a monetary contribution as a form of repairing the hurt and scars from their ancestors who owned many estates in Grenada during slavery. The apology letter was signed by over 100 members of the Trevelyan family and handed to Prime Minister Mitchell. Honorable Deacon Mitchell said the letter is the beginning of a bigger conversation on reparation within CARICOM for the advancement of member countries.
I want to take the opportunity to join in a public request to my fellow head of government of the United Kingdom to accept our kind invitation to commence dialogue in an open, transparent, frank, and dignified manner to talk of the need for reparative justice for the citizens of CARICOM. And to also use your good office as the convener to join with your European counterparts to address this issue with your French and Spanish counterparts in particular.
Chair of the Grenada Reparations Committee, Ali Gill, said the process of reparative justice must not be seen as a side project, but one that governments must invest in and commit to do more to acknowledge the harm that was done and the repairs needed.
This apology and financial commitment from Laura Trevelyan and the family should serve as a clarion call to other families, institutions, and governments in Europe to acknowledge their wrongs, apologize, and commit to repairing the harms done by the ancestors. Governments in the Caribbean region must do more for the struggle for reparative justice and come together using, of course, the CARICOM Reparations Commission as the vehicle through which the battle for reparatory justice is waged and must be won. Further, our governments must consistently and publicly, with one voice, call on European nations to engage in a conversation with their counterparts in the Caribbean region.
Surviving members of the Trevelyan family, led by Laura and John, apologized to Grenada and called for more UK families and the government to follow suit.
We apologize to the surviving descendants of the enslaved on those estates for the continuing impact on their daily lives, their health, and their well-being. We are grateful to the Centre for the Studies of the Legacies of British Slavery at University College London for publishing the results of their research based on the records of financial compensation paid by the British government to British plantation owners.
We urge the British government to enter into meaningful negotiations with the governments of the Caribbean in order to make appropriate reparations through CARICOM and bodies such as the Grenada National Reparations Commission.
After consulting with the Grenada National Reparations Commission, Laura Trevelyan, which is me, is making a donation of £100,000 to establish an education fund at the University of the West Indies Open Campus here in Grenada. Details of that fund will be determined by the GNRC in collaboration with the UWI and the Government of Grenada.
With work about to begin on a $2 billion project to construct the Grenada National Resort, Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell has assured that close attention will be paid to the concerns of citizens regarding the development. His commitment came during a sword turning in Livera on Sunday.
And I'm happy to note that the vgh'n group has been engaged in dialogue with citizens and residents. In fact, on my way in, I passed one person protesting. And this is Grenada. People have the right to share their views. They have the right to share their concerns. And as the government, we have the right to listen and pay attention and address their concerns. And so I'm heartened that the group has been engaging in consultations with the communities to listen to their concerns. But we also have to be honest. Development also has a price. And you cannot have development without some environmental impact. You cannot have development without changing the physical landscape and the physical infrastructure. What is required is for the changes to be done in a responsible, sensitive, and sustained manner. And Mr. Lee and his group have given us the assurance that they intend to do so.
The Grenada National Resort is currently the largest foreign investment project in Grenada, with $70 million invested in the land acquisition. The CBI-approved project is expected to be a world-class resort development nestled on approximately 412 acres of land in close proximity with the Livera National Park and beach. It has been developed by the Singapore vgh'n Group. Chairman Yang Fo Lee says the groundbreaking signals a milestone development for the company.
With the fading of pandemic, the global economic recovery, and the orderly resumption of work and production in all walks of life, the construction of the Grenada National Resort will also break through. As a national key project in Grenada, the Grenada National Resort is of great significance in guiding the transformation of Grenada's tourism industry from sightseeing to high-end leisure resort, improving its tourism reception capacity and service level, promoting local economic development and employment.
Tourism Minister Honorable Lennox Andrews reiterated one of the objectives of his government for 2023, which is to ensure the establishment of community tourism projects and activities.
We say to you as developers that we would like to see our farmers, performing artists, visual artists, designers, painters, sculptors, taxi drivers, wayside vendors, handicraft makers, small-scale manufacturers, and agro-processors be the direct beneficiaries of this project. Moreover, we hope that many Grenadians will be employed right here, especially in the high-end paying positions of this hotel, for which they will be well qualified.
Honorable Dennis Cornwall, Parliamentary Representative for St. Patrick East, in whose constituency the Grenada National Resort will be constructed, sees positive benefits for the rural parishes.
This project here is a game changer for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. It's a gateway to all the islands surrounding us. And therefore, we must rise to the occasion and support what is happening here today. I believe there is merit in basically engagement and consultation, and therefore, we all ought to be given a listening ear. But at the end of the day, we ought to remember that there is merit in the greater good for Grenada, Carriacou, and Pittimatic, and not just those who want to basically develop this country in silos. We want to make sure that this country is developed in a way that it benefits our investors who come here to do it, as well as our people.
The project, Honorable Cornwall says, is one that demonstrates that the citizenship by investment is not just about selling passports, but also aiding in the transformational agenda of his government. This is the National Report. The news will continue after the break.
Have you noticed an increase or decrease in your electricity bill? You know that changes in the fuel and non-fuel rates affect your bill. You should also be aware that changes in household activities affect your bill. Ask yourself these questions. Have the rates changed? Have there been more people at your home? Have your children been on holiday? Have you used your fan or air conditioning unit more often to beat the heat? Are any of your electrical appliances or equipment faulty? Have you added any new appliances such as transformers, water heaters, or pumps? Make it a habit to understand any changes on your electricity bill. For more factors that affect your bill, visit www.grenlec.com. Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
Welcome back. Minister for Climate Resilience, Renewable Energy and the Environment, Honorable Karine James, is leading by example in climate change. The minister's office is the first to be outfitted with a brand new air conditioning unit that operates with a refrigerant that poses no threat to the environment. The unit was handed to government's National Ozone Unit as part of a German Agency for International Cooperation project. Countries under the project are Cuba, Grenada, Costa Rica, the Philippines, Vietnam, and Iran. The project's approach takes into consideration climate-friendly solutions in the cooling and air conditioning sector. The R290 hydrocarbon climate-friendly, energy-efficient air conditioning system has interesting properties, including fast cooling, quiet, and uses less energy. Maya Schmarsha is the representative from the GIZ Proclima that has been on mission in Grenada for the past 12 months. Schmarsha says GIZ Proclima is happy to have a small island developing state like Grenada aiming to reduce emissions into the environment.
This particular unit has been handed over to the government of Grenada, to the National Ozone Unit as part of the technical and financial support which was provided under the first phase of the project, Cool Contributions Fighting Climate Change. And yeah, we feel extremely honored that the minister now has her own R290 propane AC in her office, and it's really a great sign, like she's leading by example. And yeah, I can only say that we are extremely happy with the collaboration that we're having with the National Ozone Unit and with the stakeholders in Grenada. And I hope the minister will be happy with the AC.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Climate Resilience, Marina Jessamy, said installation of an environmentally friendly AC unit aligns with the vision and mission of the ministry.
The mission of the ministry is to be a premier agency of government mainstreaming climate, biodiversity, environment, and renewable actions in all our interventions, working together with public and private sector, civil society, and all the residents and citizens of the state to really make climate actions happen. And while we remind ourselves of our vision and mission, we can demonstrate it as well. So everybody that will visit the minister, every agency that will come will see that we do demonstrate compliance with the Montreal Protocol. So I want to thank the GIZ Proclaimer.
Minister for Climate Resilience, Honorable Karen James, thanked GIZ Proclaimer for their donation. She said the aim is to take on a bigger approach that includes other government buildings throughout the island.
We have made some quite brave remarks during the budget presentation as to how would Grenada play its part to phase down and phase out bad gases that are not good for our environment. As small island developing states, it is a challenge for us because most times we don't have the capacity, neither the resources financially and otherwise to actually implement successfully some of the programs and projects that we have. And so to have this initiative, while we are appreciative that it is here in Grenada and we do have that bilateral and that partnership, we do intend to spread it not only through an office or our department as the Ministry for Climate Resilience, Environment and Renewable Energy, but as well to take on a much more bigger project to phase out and phase down some of the bad gases that we have in all of our government buildings here in Tantine as well as throughout the island.
The AC unit was installed by 4 female refrigeration and air conditioning technicians from Grenada. Minister James said she's pleased to see that women are showing interest in the field.
This, in my view, is significant and very timely, especially as we are going to have International Women's Day coming up very soon. The theme for International Women's Day also speaks about more opportunities for gender equality for women, especially in these areas and in the STEM field. So I think that we do have the capacity here in terms of having much more females involved in getting into these non-traditional roles and this career path.
That story just ended the national report for Monday, February 27th, recapping the top story. Prime Minister calls on UK government head to start dialogue on reparative justice. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Rikisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us.